Hi, I'm Pandaris and welcome to Wraeclast. This guide should have most of the things you need to know to get started as a brand new player, without spoiling much of your first playthrough, and some tips for those of you who aren't new. If you are in the category of people who just downloaded the game, I would like to take a moment to welcome you to the amazing game and community that is Path of Exile. I'm starting off on a fresh account just as you would, so hopefully the screen looks familiar. If it doesn't, it may be because my shadows are off in my settings. I suggest you pick a character that looks cool or interesting to you and leave behind all preconceptions you have about classes from other RPGs. As I originally thought the Shadow was cool, but didn't take him as I assumed from other games, a roguelike character might be weak and hard to level as a new player. Before we name our character, let's take a look at the leagues. These might be different depending on when you start the game and watch this video, but they should look something like this. There are both standard and hardcore versions of the challenge leagues, and there is a brief description of the special league mechanics here. The standard version of the temporary league is the default league for Path of Exile characters, and I suggest you make a character here when you are more comfortable with the game. There is also a hardcore or permanent death version of the challenge league, and a hardcore checkbox on the standard league. We are just going to stick with the standard league as it is a permanent league that will always be there, though I do suggest you participate in the more active temporary leagues at some point. Be creative with your names. Grinding Gear Games gave us a lot of letters to play with, so have fun. But also be respectful. I myself have declined trades and conversations with players whose names go a bit too far. You should also keep in mind that your first character will most likely not make it very far, but is more of a way to explore the game. So here we are on the beach. Before we get too carried away, I'd like to go over a few helpful key bindings, settings, and tricks to help you have the best experience possible. First and most importantly, force move and force standstill. Binding move only to your left click isn't mandatory, but it will help you get out of sticky situations where having an attack here would cause you to get stuck and possibly die. Attack in place is less important now that some improvements have been made to the core game, but it's still useful for making sure you are attacking when you want to be. I personally rebind this to the space bar from its traditional location on the shift key for comfort. I also find that the closing all windows function of the spacebar is also available on the escape key. As you play, be sure to mess around with other key bindings, as finding your own setup that fits not only your playstyle, but your hand can make a big difference.
Bastards dumped near 24 of us off that ship. You and me were all that survived the swim. Never was much difference between exile and the death sentence. Once I catch my breath here, we'll take a look around, see what Wraeclast has on offer. I thought I saw smoke at those ruins up the beach. It could be worth...
Your first skill gem is rewarded for killing the guy who's munching on our new friend here. There are a lot of different skill gems in the game, and each class starts out with a different one. We will be going into more detail with skill gems in a minute, but for now, slap that bad boy in a socket of corresponding color. For most experienced players, this zone is nothing more than a brisk walk on the beach. There is no need to level up or kill any monsters, except the boss at the end. Use this area to become familiar with the game, but don't use up too many flask charges. You'll need them. Hillock is your first encounter with a unique enemy. On a side note, enemies follow similar rules to the rules of the randomly generated items in the game. But we're really not worried about that now. Killing Hillock only requires your first skill gem and good flask use. Flasks are the potions of this game, and they are extremely important. Flasks hold multiple charges and are filled by killing monsters or returning to town. Pick up what he drops. We'll need the currency for this next bit. There is no gold in Path of Exile. All trading with other players and NPC vendors is done with crafting items, or what most players refer to as currency. Every item of currency has its own value, from the least valuable item, the Wisdom Scroll that identifies an item, to the most valuable, the Mirror of Calandria, that can make an exact copy of a perfect item. We are going to use some of our Wisdom Scrolls to buy some different skill gems to play around with, rather than using them to identify items. Skill gems, as well as most things in the game, tell you exactly what they do if you take the time to read them. So remember, if you don't know exactly what it does, read it. Take some time to play around with these skill gems in the areas beyond Lion Eye's Watch. Try different gems in different items and see what you like better. You can always use the control-click function to make a new zone if you've killed all the monsters in this one. Don't worry too much about skill points, just grab what looks cool. Also remember, don't get too attached to this character, as you might need to start a new one in the near future. It's just a part of the game. Once you have found a fun skill you like, use the forums and YouTube to find a build that uses that gem. This will allow you to focus on playing the game and not be too overwhelmed with the skill tree. Look for things like beginner friendly or budget when searching for a build. Otherwise, enjoy your first playthrough, as if you like this game, you'll be playing through it many times over, and your first run is special. I plan on making a walkthrough style guide with more information in the future. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/PandarusLive, or leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.